Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Paige, here once again with another video on Arrow Season 7, and this is going to be my review for episode 16, otherwise entitled Star City 2040. And of course, if you've not watched the episode, go watch it, because spoiler alert, and some pretty big things happen in this episode. But if you've watched it, be sure to let me know your various thoughts in the comments section down below on what you liked, what you disliked, what you loved, what you hated. Let me know all of that in the comments section, and if you enjoyed the video and the episode, be sure to drop a like on it to show support. And subscribe to the channel if you're new. So last episode, I guess in relevance to this episode, we actually saw William and Mia do some stuff in the future looking for the little mini cassette player so they could play the little mini cassette tape they'd found in the previous episode, and they get coordinates, and where the coordinates leading them to? Well, it's the Glades. That's where they're going, in a specific building. And also in the present day, there's just stuff with, I guess, like the Mia about to come and the whole pregnancy thing, but yeah. But this episode actually plays in a linear fashion, so we knew going by the trailer and just what had been said that we were going to get Mia flashbacks, but really it is flashbacks, but it's done in a linear way, so we don't constantly are getting to a point in the episode and then it flashes back to like when Mia was 7 years old, and then we go to another point, then it flashes back to when Mia's 12 years old. We don't get that. It goes linear, so we see Mia's birth scene, Oliver is present, and that is the only time we see Oliver in this episode, when Mia is being born. And with the timeline and stuff, and when we think about it, he would be present when Mia is born. If he, obviously, this episode, we'll just get the, elephant in the room with Oliver in this episode. There was a lot of avoiding confirming whether he's dead or alive, when basically them not talking about it sort of confirms that he's dead. Something at the end of this episode really makes you go like, holy shit, like, sorry for swearing, but like, holy shit, what the hell's going on here? We'll talk about that when we get to that point. But yeah, so that's, if he dies in Crisis, we were assuming that Mia would be born either just before or just after. So it will be interesting to see if we see that cabin scene again next season on Arrow. But one surprise in this episode, which I don't think anyone saw, and I was like, or saw coming, sorry, and I was like, oh, okay. And that's when Nyssa Al Ghul shows up, and she's the one that's been training Mia. So Nyssa comes back, which was pretty cool. Once again, hammers the point home. Oliver's not even training her, even when she was really young. It was interesting to see that I think Nyssa actually gives Mia her bow and arrows, or it could just be like League of Assassins ones, but I'm pretty sure they're the bow and arrows that Nyssa used. Like they had even like the red and black on them, so I think they were Nyssa's equipment. If I'm wrong, let me know in the comments. But this also does confirm that Nyssa's alive in the future, Roy's alive in the future, so where's Thea? We're going to get something that explained. Hopefully we get it explained soon. But obviously that's for an episode in the future to, go over that. But we did see that Mia and Felicity are in like remote living. They're in a little cabin in the woods and stuff. And, Mia's never been to a city. Felicity's staying out there for safety and stuff like that. So that's like a big push for Mia in this episode. Just like this, she never went to school. She never had like a proper childhood. She was just here. So she never actually got to like grow up properly because of, what was going on with Felicity, and also what her father was involved with as well. Which basically leads into us seeing, like, I guess Arrow's version of the Time Vault. The Flash has the Time Vault, all that stuff. I guess this is like Arrow's version with soundproof foam. Like, I have soundproof foam in this room right here. There's some there. Arrow must have copied my room or something. But yeah, there's soundproof foam everywhere. And basically, Felicity's still doing vigilante work, which Mia gets annoyed at because it's sort of, she's... The whole reason they're in this situation is because of Oliver doing that, and then they got away from that. But then Felicity's still doing it and drawing attention. So you can understand why Mia was getting annoyed, but you also can understand why Felicity was still doing it. But this is like the big push for Mia to come to Star City. She comes to Star City without an umbrella or a poncho, gets extremely wet. Gotta think ahead, Mia. If you're gonna storm off and come to the city, think ahead. It rains in the city a lot. Pollution or something it must be. I don't know. But this is where we see her get into the cage fighting. So when we first met her this season, she was cage fighting, and then they basically set up the cage fighting where she could make a lot of money off it if she was winning. And basically we know that she was winning a decent amount in the cage fighting, making thousands of dollars. So there's the connective tissue, I guess. And that basically leads us into present day. So that's basically the end of the flashbacks, I guess. Now, future Team Arrow was still looking into the whole bomb situation, which I guess is the main thing that they should be worrying about. So they're looking into that, and they get certain clues, especially Dinah using her connections or former connections that she had. We do see Roy lose it at that cop that Dinah was trying to get info off after he punched him. Was that like a side effect of Mirakuru, or was just Roy getting, like, is it just like suppressed anger? Because I guess Roy really hasn't had a time or place to let anger out. So maybe when Roy is triggered enough where he could release that anger, that's why he went all out. Maybe that's why he went so hard. I'm not too sure. Hopefully they explain that. But if I'm going to make an assumption, I guess it's just like, just the Mirakuru still having or the Mirakuru still having maybe a slight effect on him, even though they said like it's sort of gone out of him. Or could be suppressed anger from what's happened him or happened to him in the past, from after the present day to where we are now in the future. Could be something along those lines. Now we do see William and Mia get into Galaxy 1. I think that's where the coordinates exactly were leading them. Connor Hawke is actually in there, and he's actually a part of that, so he hasn't been exactly truthful to Mia, and they are in a relationship, which they hadn't really made clear in the past, so it's really pushed forward in this episode. Obviously, the stuff happened last episode with Connor Hawke, where we find out that he's actually Bronze Tiger's son. Will we see stuff in present day that leads to that? It's hard to be 100% sure. But Galaxy 1 is essentially a front for Eden Corps. Now, Eden Corps, if you're a Flash fan, was actually the corporation, I guess you want to say, around that Enter Flash Time episode with that, was it a nuke? I think it was like a nuke or like a mini nuke or something along those lines. So the person that was heading up that back in the day was Veronica Dale, and the person in charge of Galaxy 1, which is just a front for Eden Corps in the future, is I think Keith Dale. I know his last name is Dale. I think it's Keith. So I don't know if that's like meant to be a younger brother or a son, because Veronica Dale wasn't that old in The Flash last season. But Eden Corps isn't a new thing to the Arrowverse. It's was in The Flash last season, but I guess it's more relevant that it's in Arrow because Hyrax, who is Veronica Dale in the comics and was sort of the whole thing with Eden Corps, what is a Green Arrow villain, and is actually sort of, I think that's the lead into like something. Well, I know, but I'm not going to spoil it because it might have something to do with what happens in the future scenes. But it leads into something big that happens with Green Arrow. You can Google it if you want to. But Hyrax and Green Arrow and just Eden Corps, they're a pretty big thing in the Green Arrow comics in regards to the effect it leaves. But Mayor Renee, aka Mr. I don't suit my wig, is that what we're calling him? I don't know. Just that wig though. Anyway, let's move on. He does stand up to the future Team Arrow for calling them in this episode, and like he knows about everything that's going on, but he doesn't know. Obviously, the fact that Eden Corps is heading it up and they're just basically terrorists. There's obviously going to be some sly stuff, but Mario Renee is just, I think, more on the positive side, just hoping that it all goes well because it's exactly what he wants to do around them. But obviously that changes when Renee actually finds out, like, stuff's still going that he thought was going to, like, stuff is still going to happen that he thought was going to happen. It's just happening in a different way and different people are getting involved and it's just done in a different manner that he just doesn't agree with. But we will get to that, when it's relevant. But we do actually see William, Connor, and Mia find a captive Felicity. So we were unsure of what was going on with Felicity. I think we all just assumed, thought she'd be alive, after a couple of episodes. I don't know what role she's going to play too much in this future. It's going to be interesting to see after this episode what role she plays. I thought they might have done something where they find Felicity and then she dies in this episode, maybe sacrificing herself to fix a problem that she caused. Just because of the logistical issue, I don't know how Emily Bett Rickards is going to do the present day stuff and then also do a lot of future stuff as well. Unless she's really sporadic in her appearances in the future stuff, we'll have to wait and see. But I think the reunion between her and William was really nice just because of how things left off. And we actually know how long it's been since William has seen her. And also, this whole thing was started by William getting that hose in, tracking down Roy, and then everything coming out to Star City. So this is actually what William's been, looking for, to with Felicity and stuff. And that's exactly what happened. So it was a good reunion there. I'll tell you what, the CW loves referencing Marvel because we have Connor Hawke referencing Spider-Man with great power comes great responsibility line. So I thought that was a bit funny. But of course, unsurprisingly, we do see Renee join up with future Team Arrow, give them information, and this leads into a whole cool sequence where they stop the bomb from going off, or the bombs going off from Keith Dale and stopping that. Thought that was a pretty cool scene. And I must say, Mia's theme song, it's played a couple of times in this episode. I think in the training scene, maybe, but especially in that that big action scene towards the end. Really like her theme song. I really can't. Outside of the main theme, I really do like Prometheus's theme song, but I really like Mia's theme song. So hopefully we get to hear more of it in future episodes because I was like, wait, man, big fan of that. Blake Neely, good composer. But after this whole bombing thing, we do see Renee put that massive bounty on, I think it's Roy, Dinah, and Felicity's head, which he had to, but it's obviously not going to be good for those couple of or few characters going forward, because people are going to be keeping their eye out. So, yeah, it's going to be difficult for them to sort of go incognito, if you want to call it. Now, we do see that weird helmet that's going to take Archer global, so I'm not too sure exactly what they're going to go, like what they're going for with that. I'm guessing it's people are going to wear it. I'm not 100% sure exactly what the go with it is, unless it's going to be part of like androids or something. I'm not too sure what's going on with the helmet. If you want to let me know what your thoughts on it are, obviously we're going to find out. But I'm guessing this might lead into, like, because there's only a couple of episodes left for this, or not a couple, there's a few. But I don't know how much flash forwards it will be to fully explain that and then see it play out. So we might see that next season. Not too sure, but those helmets are going to do something with the Archer program, I guess. But the thing that sort of confused me at the end, did Felicity basically say that she either played a hand or was the cause of Oliver's death? It's what it sounded. I didn't go back and watch because I was watching it through a live stream, but I was watching it live, so I couldn't just scroll back. But it was sort of confused. I was like, hold on. Did she just say that she played a part in it? Obviously, we'll see more of that going forward, but this basically cuts back to present day where we see the Archer program like fully launch, where it's not just this thing at the door, like it's a responsive program. So, yeah, I don't know. It's gonna. I'm interested to see where it goes because, as I said, Eden Core, if this is the front, if Galaxy 1 is just a front for Eden Core and Galaxy 1's doing the stuff with the Archer program, and as I said, Eden Core, if you want to look it up in the comics, you can and see what their tie-ins with the Green Arrow are. Maybe Oliver doesn't die in Crisis and it's a massive misdirect and maybe he dies in another way. I don't know. We'll find out. I'm sure hopefully by the end of this season we'll probably get a taste maybe, or at least a big hint as to when and where Oliver would have died. If he does die, obviously we are jumping the gun by saying he's definitely dead, but just with Eden Core being involved anymore, just knowing the Green Arrow stuff from the comics, it just gets me a bit like, oh, okay, is that where they're going? So, yeah, I don't know, it'd be weird if they made Felicity just play into Oliver's death. I don't know. Anyway, that's for future episodes to discuss, I guess. But yeah, overall, I thought this was a solid episode. Actually, I'm not going to give it a rating. I hate giving ratings because I hate giving things a number. But I enjoyed the episode. I've always said an Arrow episode without Stephen Amell is always going to be a bit of a lackluster episode because I do think he does carry the show. However, I think this episode did fairly well without him in it for like 99% of the episode because it was in like one shot at the beginning of the episode and then the hut when Mia's born. But yeah, I thought it was a pretty solid episode. Would I want more complete flash forward episodes in the future? Probably not, to be completely honest, because I think it just works when they bounce back and forth. I just think in the narrative maybe the flash forwards work as well as present day because there's just more characters to go back and forth with. But yeah, it was a decent episode. I enjoyed it. And yeah, I'm looking forward to where this flashback story does go, especially around the whole Oliver and Felicity connection as well. I'm just very intrigued by that. But thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, it'd be awesome if you could drop a like on it to show your support. Let me know in the comment section down below. Thoughts on the episode. Do you like it? Love it? Hate it? Dislike it? Anything like that? Just think it was average. Let me know in the comment section down below. Yeah, if you enjoyed the video, it would be awesome if you could drop a like on it to show your support. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. And I'll catch you guys later. Goodbye.